We're gonna talk about this.
Ryan had a conversation with Volsh and Ryan mentioned you and said you were friends.
Yeah.
That was a Poggers moment.
Oh, did Ryan have a conversation? That's nice. Yeah, me and Ryan are friends. That's pretty cool. Let's go see that. Let's go see that really quick.
Skeetus just subscribed.
Weird. Thank you so much, HFN Skeetus, for the sub. All right. Be anti-racist. Yeah. So I want to talk about this. It's so funny. I saw this yesterday. It's not like a big thing, but Cartoon Network ran an ad against racism. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna talk about it. It's funny. It's kind of funny. What I find interesting about it, it's like so I'm a little more, I think a lot of you guys now know, like I have like progressive ideas, but I'm a little like more conservative. And I'll say it's like a little uncomfortable with the idea of like fucking Cartoon Network to be like, hey, don't be racist. Cause like you should, I don't know. You should be, you got to teach your own kids to not be racist. But then I guess that's the issue, is that maybe that's not necessarily happening in the right way. So like, I'm just saying I'm uncomfortable with it, but I understand it. Like, I'm not railing against it. I get it. Like, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. It's just like from my more conservative leaning general mentality, I'm like, it makes me uncomfortable. That's all I'm trying to say. So this video is like, oh, be anti-racist, a public service announcement. So we're going to watch it. That's yeah.
1, 2, 3! Hey, when we're older, let's get married.
All right. That's so...
Ha! You can't get married. Why not? Black people can't marry white people.
Hey.
I just don't know how to respond. So, like... It's weird because you got two kids sliding down a slide holding hands, which is totally fine. And then they get off the slide and like, hey, let's get married when we're older. And it's just like, it's just weird. It's like a not normal human interaction to be like, hey, let's just get married. It's bizarre. I don't know, but it's like, whatever. Okay, fine. And then the kid slides down and the kid's not even like, hey, like if this weird looking kid was like, hey, it's gross that gay people get married, I'd be like, okay, fine. But like he's like, hey, interracial marriage is wrong. And it's like, what the fuck? It's like I feel like and maybe I'm just ignorant, but like I feel like that's not like the most prevalent issue when it comes to black people. Or when it comes to these situations. I don't know. Maybe I think I'm being a little too harsh on it, but it's just such a weird flow for this commercial. And it's like, what the fuck? It just sits wrong with you only because it's so unnatural in its interaction. But they save it. But the next narrative that they go with.
It's Garnet from Steven Universe.
Woo!
Kids, don't be racist.
Cut. Okay, people, we
Alright, so it was fake, right? It's like, Inception.
just need to get coverage. We'll start again in 5.
This is the cheesiest job I've ever done.
That's true. It's very cheesy, regardless of anything else.
Stuff like this doesn't actually happen in real life. Whoa there.
That's true. That shit doesn't happen. Two kids holding hands going down a slide. They don't go down the slide and then get popped off and then get pointed at and go, hey, gay people can't get married, or like black people can't marry white people. That's not something that happens in real life. Specifically, that.
Are you kidding? It totally does.
Just because this has never happened to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Seriously, I didn't know. Yeah.
That kid was too easy to convince. I understand, like, at this point, like, it's a good message. It's like, hey, they're basically talking about different, like, forms of systemic racism and people's lack of understanding as to, like, how they exist and, like, different people living in different spheres and environments and growing up, like, sheltered in their own ways. And, like, yeah, I get it. Totally fine message. It's just, like, so weird how they made it. And this kid should have been a little more resistant, honestly. Only because then, like, you can kind of get some of the bullshit talking points out. But the commercial's nice. It's just so weird. It's so weird.
Everyone messes up sometimes.
But you gotta realize it hurts to deal with racism. And when people act like it's not real, it makes it feel even worse.
You have to acknowledge racism to work against it.
It's a nice
You're
message.
right. I can do that.
You kids better
Yeah.
work on this before the wedding.
Whoa, that's just
We're
for
just
the script.
actors.
Whoa, that's gay.
I just meant today.
Okay. Yeah, so totally Pogger's moment. It's not a bad commercial, but it was so weird. It's like an acid trip watching that. What I will say is, because I actually brought it up earlier, like how it makes me slightly uncomfortable to teach people about social issues like Cartoon Network. And it does, like, it makes me a little uncomfortable, and I guess it's like the conservative in me, and I still hold to that uncomfortableness, even if maybe it's not rational. What I will say though is, like, if your kid watches that and like you're upset, like you just be like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean, like, shut the hell up, like, just tell your kid to not watch, I don't know, not engage with Cartoon Network anymore. I don't know. It's just weird, you know, because it's like one of those things where I remember talking to Desmond Fabrini, and like I remember a couple of years ago. I would have been uncomfortable with somebody like Desmond or Desi. I know he likes to be called Desi. Like teaching my kids, because like, oh, that's weird. It's, I mean, like, it's, you know, weird. Probably, I guess that's a term. I don't use it disparagingly, not anymore. But like now, if my kid had like a teacher like Desmond, I wouldn't give a fuck. Because like at worst, just be like, hey, that he's different. Just learn to accept different people. You know. That's so I'm just kind of like, you know, relating that to this. That's kind of my perspective on it now. So, but it's a funny commercial. It's funny. It's like an acid fucking fever dream, but it has a nice message. It was just silly. It's just a little bit silly. That's what they wanted to talk about. I want to say thank you so much, guys, to all my Patreons, and a special shout out to my Papa XL Patreons. Without all you guys, I would just be some fat dude screaming into a microphone. So thank you so much, guys. Mwah. I love you all. I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.